Hawgsmoke's a big deal for the A-10 community. It used to be a big deal for the entire Air Force when all of the tactical aircraft would get together prior to 1995 and execute competitions such as this. When that died off, the A-10 community kind of stood up and said, we're going to do this amongst ourselves. So every 2 years, we pull everybody together. And it's not just about the good times, it's not just about chest thumping who's the best, although there is a little bit of braggadocio that goes along with being a fighter pilot. Everybody does want to be number one. But the best part about this is bringing the community together. And it's not just the A-10 community, it's this community. I mean, everybody loves airplanes, we love the city that we live in, and we want to showcase what we do, where we live, for the people that we do it for. We have 13 teams. Each team has a primary competition team of 4 aircraft. Some units will take their most experienced guys. They'll try to stack the deck with the pilots that they know are their best bomb droppers and gun shooters. They'll have one of their most senior pilots and have one of their youngest pilots. Our squadron decided we were going to go with all of our younger pilots because as a training squadron, we're very heavy on rank and experience. So a lot of lieutenant colonels in the squadron, a lot of field grade officers. And we had 4 captains in the unit since our mission is primarily to train new A-10 pilots, and we decided that our 4 captains were going to represent the squadron. They'll start with their 10-minute window on the tactical range. So they'll have 10 minutes to kill as many targets as they can. And then they'll have a 10-minute transition time to go over to the conventional range, which is where y'all will get to see the competition up close. And during that time, they'll start off with our high altitude dive events. So the first one will be a 45-degree high altitude dive bomb. They'll release the bomb of just under 10,000 feet above the ground at a 45-degree angle. Then they'll move down to a manual delivery. So using a little bit of Kentucky windage, if you will. They'll turn off the computed sights and they'll manually drop 2 bombs from a 30-degree dive angle a little bit closer to the ground. Then they'll drop down to the low altitude events where they'll run in, depending on their qualifications, between 100 and 500 feet, do a pop-up delivery, acquire the target, and release the bombs at low altitude. Then they'll come back around and do 2 passes of long-range strafe. So they'll be opening up the gun inside of one bomb, and then they'll finish that up with 2 passes of low-angle strafe, again with a degraded gun sight to kind of test their capabilities at a slant range of about 3,000 to 4,000 feet. Each one has a lot of very similar aspects. There's always going to be strafing events, and a lot of times to showcase the best manner of the A-10's gun, we will bring in low altitude events, because that also are the ones that show up best on camera as well. But there's always going to be a conventional piece of visual weapons delivery, dropping unguided bombs, shooting the gun, things like that we do day in and day out to really hone our skills. That's a big part of it that kind of transcends all Hawgsmokes. The other tactical pieces tend to change each iteration based on what's currently going on downrange, what tactical scenarios do the pilots want to work on, and what are the things that are most important to that unit. For example, one time we went out and focused on AGM-65 Maverick missile employment. They had a convoy, about 8 to 10 vehicles, and the test was how many of those vehicles can you hit within a 5-minute window with those Maverick missiles. The last time we did it here at Davis-Monthan, we wanted to focus on one of our other missions, which is combat search and rescue. So for 10 minutes, each 4-ship had that limited window in which to go out, find, and do the initial authentications for a simulated downed aviator. So this year, we're focusing on the precision engagement capabilities of the A-10C, and the pilots will have a 10-minute window with a fairly pre-planned scenario to go out with threats templated on the ground that they will have to contend with and see how many targets they can kill of different types in a very realistic scenario in just a 10-minute window. The first thing that we do with every Hawgsmoke is we remember our fallen. So we'll gather all the hog drivers that are here, all the maintenance folks that can make it as well to kind of, again, highlight that bond. And we're going to read the names of every A-10 pilot that has died over the year. Some of those are combat fatalities. Some of those are pilots that ultimately lost a battle with cancer. Some of those are pilots that went down in training accidents. And every year, or every 2 years when we do this, unfortunately, we have to add names to the list. It's a somber memorial that we give at the beginning of the Hawgsmoke for those pilots that have gone before us. And we kind of capstone the event, or bookend it rather, on both sides We start by reading the names of the fallen, and when we give the awards out at the end, our 4 top awards are named after 4 very legendary hog drivers that hopefully everybody in the community still remembers their name and what they did and why the prestigious awards were named for them.